Morning all. How are we all doing? Morning Ian, Yotko, Novelty, JC, Christian, Gregors. How are we doing? Monday morning again. What should we start off with this morning? News, I guess. Morning Tom, Mumo. So this week's a bit of a funny week for news. We've only got three real major news events this week. Well, 4 if you include PPI on Friday, which should be included really. But there's no real news at all this week apart from CPIs. So every single day this week, apart from Tuesday, we've got news. But it's all CPI related, all interest rates, all very, very important. We've already had the Swiss out this morning. As you can see, that came out as a 0. So inflation has dropped for the Swiss. Which is good, but they're on 1.75 interest rate anyway. While we're over there, we'll look at that. So it doesn't really affect them particularly. So 1.75 is the interest rate for the Swiss. Their inflation has gone 0 this month. So nothing particularly exciting there. It's better than expected. So inflation dropping is typically brings the currency down, because obviously what it does is it increases the chance of the interest rates dropping. So if we have a quick look at the Swissies today, nothing's hit ADR. We've had a bit of a positive move on the Swiss. So it's Aussies come down a little bit, CAD Swiss come down a little bit, but no real exciting move off the back of that. So that was half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. So a little bit of interim strength on the Swissy, but nothing else. So today we've got no other news apart from that. We've got the CPI for Tokyo coming out this evening for Japan. Won't really affect much because obviously we know their interest rates are going up at some point, either this month, next month, maybe is what they've said. But whether they do it or not is completely another matter. So from a news perspective, we're kind of clear until the Aussie dollar Wednesday morning, and then we've got Bailey speaking, and then Thursday's the real news. So main focus of the news is sort of back end of this week. But that's all we've got really this week. So it's a very, very light news week. So just normal market movement, price going up and down, usual stuff. Although obviously if any of these CPI figures do come out dramatically different to normal, it will obviously shake the market up. There's no overnight news, nothing particularly exciting that I could see over the weekend at all. So nothing really to look at. We had Barkin speaking last week, but yeah, that's it. So there's no news. So very, very dull this morning. Got 5 minutes to be open. So there's positions I've got on at the moment. Didn't get a massive amount on last week. As you can see, there's nothing to look at today. RSI dashboard's totally flat. Nothing to look at there. So nothing is extended. We had RSI extensions on the hourly and the 4 hourlies yesterday. Last week. I'm not with it this morning. So they've all kind of started to play out, or they've gone into an accumulation. Nothing's hit ADR. It's the first day of the week, and it's the second week of the month, so nothing's hit the monthly. So there's literally nothing extended at all at the moment that we can see. Everything we would have got into, last week, basically. Morning, everybody else. Sarah, Agosa, Senji, Franco, Kennelly, Virginia, Amy. Never short on a dull market? Never heard that. Would make sense there. But then again, I could say never long on a dull market. One or the other. It's going to go up or down, isn't it? So far only done 1.5% this month, not up a lot because we haven't had a lot of movement first week of the month, obviously. So it's a bit first week of the year as well. So it's a little bit difficult because we're trying to figure out which way the market wants to start the year in. So I've got yen exposure on. Euro yen, I have 2 shorts. That's in profit. Euro's rallying at the moment off the back of the Swiss franc news. So get a little bit of rally, euro and the Swissy move together. Pound yen, so I'm looking for basically a push back down, 50% of that move back into the middle of that propulsion gap as my target on those two positions. Pound yen, have got a two shorts on at the moment on the pound yen. We had lovely big rally there. We didn't do anything on Friday. So far today, we've pushed down a little bit. So I'm hoping that this reverse alert that we've had this morning, it was this morning, on the hourly is going to be the start of that down leg. I'm targeting this area here, which is kind of the accumulation in the middle of that move over those 2 days. But we've got this area here to watch as well, which is in this propulsion gap. Now that's just about break even for me, so not really a good one to get out on, but I will see how these are playing out. If we can get the euro yen down to target, that'll be a decent amount of profit. If this is down here and hitting this area when that euro yen hits target, i.e. we get a load of yen strength coming through, I might well close that pound out with the euro yen and take the whole lot off there just to reduce the yen exposure. But I'll see what the profit's like, make the decision near the time. US dollar yen, two positions on that one at the moment. I'm looking for a push back down into that previous weekly resistance, which was previous support, and returned into support again there. So looking for a test of that level again to the downside. Again, expecting this yen to power up at some point, but we're going to wait for some news, basically. And euro pound is the other one. So got one position on that one from last week on the drop. Went sideways on Thursday. Friday, didn't really do anything until we got the news coming through on non-farm payroll, which has dropped down, looking for that to correct. Don't really know where I want to get out on this one. We've got this propulsion gap, which is obviously where the sellers re-added into the positions on Thursday. So that is valid. Might well act as another resistance on the way up. If it does, fine. I'll just add another position as we go down and get out of that one later. But euro rallying at the moment, obviously off the back of the news. So good support coming up on that one this week down at this level here. And then we've got the monthly low down there at 175 ADR. So I can scale into that one and wait for a bounce somewhere down there, but nothing particularly moving at the moment. So yeah, it's just stuck really. It's going to be a struggle this month. January quite often is a struggle because the market's very undirectional a lot of the time, unless we get some news. You know, some of these CPIs might shake it up this week, but we'll see. Right, DAX. We went nowhere at all end of last week. Actually, we went nowhere really at all last week on the FTSE or the DAX. So obviously we woke up a little bit, dropped, sat there sideways, haven't gone anywhere, dropped, sat there sideways. So not really any movement. We are starting to drop down. So we're waiting to see if we get this bear move going, but we'll see what happens this week. Very difficult in a minute. Good week last week for the Frankfurt side of things. Only had one down day last week on Friday, so I made a loss on Friday. Couldn't get out of the Friday trades, hedged. But rest of the week, all good. So nice profit last week. We'll see where we go this week. FTSE long on the pre-market 15 range. Pre-market 15 range on, well, it's 20-minute range roughly, but on the DAX as well. So pretty much the same ranges, long on both. See where we go. So upside potential this Monday morning. Yesterday's high, obviously, Friday's high. So the target one is within yesterday's high on the DAX. So if we do get a run up, we've got basically the Friday high, which will act as resistance potentially. We've got this area here, which is sort of all pre-market stuff. So they did a gap fill basically pre-market. So I wouldn't really pay too much attention to this bit here. It's Friday's high, which is this previous support. On the FTSE, you've got that area where New York opened, and then Friday's high all the way up there. So that's beyond TP2 on the FTSE this morning. So if we get a break on the FTSE, there's loads and loads and loads of upside. Downside, we'd be looking obviously at Friday's low on both. So Friday's low on the DAX is ADR. So plenty of room to the downside if it breaks down, although I'd be watching this area here. Basically for potential support, which is below that propulsion gap. And yeah, Friday's low on the FTSE, which is within ADR. So if we do break to the downside, we're looking for ADR hits basically to get out and then jump back on pullbacks. If we break to the upside and hit target, job done. We will see. Never short the market. Already read that. Franco volume has been dead all night. Yeah, normal, isn't it, for overnight stuff, especially on a Monday. Would you consider an interest rate rise in the yen as potential black swan event? No. No. It'll be strong. The yen will power up, but it won't be. I mean, you might get 200, 300, 400 maybe ADR out of it. There's no a black swan event is an astronomical market breaking event. Yeah. And even an intervention, I wouldn't class as a black swan. The Japanese intervention moves, they're not black swans. They're just massive orders. They're not. A black swan is something like the Swiss franc peg removal or the collapse caused by the algorithmic bots in the banks. You know, that sort of stuff where, you know, the market moves to the point where brokers go bankrupt type thing. But you'll get a strong move on it. Black swans are just, you know, people worry about black swans. There's no point in worrying about it. You might get hit by a car. Worry about that. Worry about getting on a plane and that crashing. The odds are the same. You will. I've experienced 2 black swans in 15 years. 15 years. If it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Just forget about it. Nothing you can do. Old Wall Street saying, is that Virginia? Never short a dull market. Not heard that one. You learn something new every day. Morning outro, morning Peter, morning Themba. Okay, DAX rallying. FTSE rallying, nearly at 2R on the FTSE. We are at 2R on the FTSE. Running into Thursday's low. Through Thursday's, well, not through yet. Getting through Thursday's low. TP on the FTSE hit. TP hit. Drop done. DAX on its way. So DAX, we are running into. So this area here, basically, is we've already hit it, rejected, hit it, rejected, opened, rejected. So this is a potential resistance we're sitting at here. I'm just going to close it out, actually. So TP taking on the DAX, there's 2R target. It's too close to worry about this resistance forming a triple top. So out. So both TPs hit this morning, nice and easy. 1.5 banked, 1.3 running. Sec. I'm having trouble talking and trouble pushing buttons this morning. Not a good sign when you're a trader, is it? Pushing buttons, quite an important skill. Right, so just pulling back at the moment. Just watching this. So it looks like I'm going to get stopped out on second positions. We'll see. Not quite yet. But just worried about that. This is an obvious resistance that we've formed from a previous support. So there's a good chance we are going to get a reaction at that level. We are pulling out this propulsion gap, though. So it's good that we're seeing buyers out of this move from Friday. But, you know, we are stuck at the moment in a battle between these two levels. So we might just flip-flop around a bit. But there's not really any news to wait for today. And obviously, big push straight up into propulsion pre-market, but this is all pre-market data, so I never really trust it at all. But nice big pullback happening on that initial cash balance move. So if it isn't going to be a long today and there's no speculative move in there, it's just literally bank orders, and it's going to flip back the other way, I obviously want to be out. So we will see where we go. FTSE's threatening to shut out that second half. Can't quite hit my trailer, but nice big push back up on the DAX though. So buyers stepping back in here, out on the FTSE, flat on the FTSE, 225. Runner on the DAX. So see if we can get a bit better move on the DAX. See if that rallies. If we break through this potential resistance area here, obviously we've then got to deal with yesterday's high, which is here. So 3R basically to the upside is yesterday's high. If we break that level, we've got a nice clear run. I mean, say clear run. This level here, where we've tapped into, pushed into. Yeah, so that's just shy of the 5R target to the upside. Other than that, sky's the limit. So we'll see. That's going to stop me out, isn't it? It's going to pull back, stop me out, and run 10R. Right. So that's the indices done. Nice and easy again today. Indices has been fantastic so far this year. Absolutely killed it. So all good. Morning Themba, morning Rajiv, morning Neo. How are we all doing? So FX wise, there's not really anything to look at today. ADR wise or RSI wise, we need to see what happens today. The market isn't going anywhere. We'll have a quick flick through all the pairs, see if there's any good support resistance bounce plays coming up. But we've had this morning's news with the Swissy, so we'll see if we get any continuation move on that Swissy or not. If we don't, obviously it will just revert back to where it was before. Other than that, there is no more news today. So it's just a case of keeping your eyes peeled on financial juice to see if anything happens. Nothing's escalating in the Middle East at the moment, which is going to hinder movement. If anything does escalate in the Middle East, it'll be an index drop and then rally on the US typically, and rally into the yen, rally into the Swiss franc. So you just need to be aware of something could escalate over there. But other than that, we're just waiting basically until pretty much until Wednesday morning now. So that's it. News done. I'll cover that in a minute. That's the new hedging account, which I'm going to go through in a minute. Just saying it's banked some more this morning, which is nice. So those are the exposures I've got on at the moment. Just waiting for something to happen, basically. So we'll flick through all the pairs this morning and just have a look at everything and see if there's anything exciting from a support resistance level perspective that you might want to take. As we know, the RSIs are totally flat. There's no RSIs at all extended. There's a few that are getting close-ish, like the Aussie New Zealand on the 4 hour. The Euro Pound on the 4 hour is about to get potentially extended as well. On the hourlies, there's nothing getting anywhere close. Literally everything is sitting 40 to 50, apart from the pound CAD, which is at 62. Other than that, everything is in 40 to 50, which is basically flat. Yeah, so we're sitting basically in that zone on the RSI, going sideways. So there's no movement. There is no bank movement. We're not moving, therefore we're not going to profit take. Therefore, there's no opportunities for mean reversion. So nothing to do. So best thing you can do at the moment is look for support resistance. The trouble we've got obviously is Friday put some of these massive spikes in off of non-farm, as it always does. So you had a lot of opportunities. Friday there was a load of ADR reversals that you just couldn't get into because they hit ADR, bounced off of support, pushed back within an hour, and there just wasn't an opportunity to get in. There was no signal, basically. So so as you can see, we'll whiz through them all, basically. I'll just go through them all in order. If there's anything specific you want to look at, let me know. Other than that, just a case of whizzing through everything, really. Morning outro, out of DAX with 1R. Good job. Yeah, still in the DAX. Hopefully we get a break. If we can get a break, it'd be nice to make a bit more profit on this today. But money's money at the end of the day. So Aussie CAD sideways, as you can see. I'll just scroll out so we can see exactly what's happening from a bigger perspective. This is going back now to beginning of November. So this is the last kind of 2 months. Not going anywhere. So nothing you can do with this at all. If we do get up to those highs at some point, short. If we do get down to those lows at some point, long, as we did on Friday. But as you can see, the entire range there is 200% of ADR. That's it. So it's just not moving. It's completely stuck sideways. Aussie dollar Swiss, we've just pulled down in double bottomed rather, that low from last month. That's December's low. Just pushed down to the bottom there. Again, not really going anywhere. Potential bounce back up into that massive propulsion gap. So there's a lovely big propulsion target there, a little bit like that one there where we just flip-flopped around and then came back and filled it. Probably going to do something similar. But again, we're going to need some news to move the market. We've got no news this week. So the likelihood is this week we're just going to kind of do stuff like that. So nothing particularly exciting. You could take a double bottom on this if it gets down there today, or rather a triple bottom. So look at last week's low, previous month's low, and take a bounce down there. There's a potential opportunity down there. Other than that, not going anywhere. Aussie dollar yen, all the yen pairs are kind of in a holding pattern at the moment. Market really doesn't know whether or not we're going long or short on the yen. We will be going long on the yen at some point in the next quarter. We don't know when, but we need to wait and see. So at the moment, the market, as you can see, we're sitting there sideways. Last week was a bit disappointing in the fact that the first week of the month, we didn't really get a lot of clues as to where we're going. So that's where we, bad line, that's where we opened on Tuesday. And that's where we are now. So, you know, all we've done really, the market is sitting in a holding pattern at the moment because we haven't got any real news. Friday's news on the US dollar didn't give us any clues as to what's going on there. We've had no more information on the yen as to whether they're going to increase the interest rates and when. So, you know, everything's kind of just flip-flopping around. So any RSI extensions you can get are going to be probably fairly easy to get out of. But as we know, we got out of ones from last week, but not really with any massive moves because it hasn't gone anywhere. So we've got this propulsion gap off of the news holding at the moment. We've got a little one there, which is holding as well. So we're kind of stuck between this range. So if we do get up to there, there's a short opportunity. If that fails, there's a short opportunity there. And then down to there, we've got a long opportunity. If that fails, you've got a long there. That's kind of a spike. So this propulsion gap for a scaling. Nothing exciting. Aussie New Zealand sideways. We popped our head. We actually gapped up outside of December's high, came straight back down, and now we're sitting back in here. So watch this propulsion gap at ADR 125 today for potential long opportunity back up into those areas. Failing that, you'd be adding a second position there to get out. Aussie dollar, US dollar, again, really, really sideways. We are heading to fill this propulsion gap by the looks of things from the US dollar. Once we get into there, obviously, we're waiting for some news. So Thursday this week is when we're going to get the CPI figures. So if that gap gets filled by Thursday, we could get a nice big rally going there. So this Aussie US, obviously, we'd need some US dollar weakness, US dollar strength to bring this back down into there. Or some Aussie dollar weakness, but we've got no news on the Aussie. And if we get down to there by Thursday, gives the market an opportunity to dump that US dollar, which it seems like it wants to do, which means we get a rally going that way. But at the moment, looks like we're kind of heading towards that. All these propulsion gaps, they act as magnets, as we know. So the market is attracted to previous liquidity and orders put in by the banks. So we've got big batch of liquidity sitting up there. We've got a big batch of liquidity sitting down there. We know there's going to be transactions available in these areas, so that's where the market's going to go. So it's a case of, is it going there or is it going there? Just need to make your mind up and scale in accordingly, whichever way it goes. So there's your Aussies. Not a lot going on. Euro US dollar in profit, short, ready to close. Good job. Got out the DAX and the FTSE with 1.9% this morning. SIH doing great. Good job. Out the second DAX. Yeah, so me too. 1.7%. You did better than me. Yeah, so out flat on the initial moves this morning. CAD Swiss kind of says it all, doesn't it? We had that big drop down in the week between Christmas and New Year. We had that massive Swiss franc rally followed by a second day. I got a mean reversion, entry out of that, and exit, all done. Since then, we haven't gone anywhere. Really contracted week last week for the CAD Swiss. No movement. So sitting there waiting, looking for a push down into propulsion or a push up into propulsion. One of those. Don't know. Not going anywhere at the minute. So nothing really to look at there. This is going to be the theme of the morning, really, isn't it? CAD Yen sitting sideways. We had a big rally on that. Well, I say a big rally on that. It was a 200 ADR move. Not really big, is it? So it did twice its average daily movement in the entire week last week. Didn't go anywhere. We're pulling back on it at the moment into this area. A bit of yen strength coming through this morning, and a little bit of yen strength came through on Friday with non-farm payroll. So moving down, potential to push out of these propulsion gaps. But as I say, we're waiting for that yen move to start. So if you are going to long it, you just want to be a little bit careful, because if they do suddenly announce it, and the Japanese are very well known for either keeping quiet and then just going, here you go, and doing something, or telling us they're going to do something, moving the market, and then actually saying, actually, no, we're not going to do that, and then undoing it. So they're very unreliable when it comes to any kind of news. So we should expect that sort of movement at some point this month, possibly next month, but I reckon they'll probably at least hint at something which will rally the yen this month. So shorts up at the high, long, personally, I'd rather get in when we're down here, when we've got an extension, same as that, basically, and see what happens. But nothing exciting at the moment. Swiss yen, Swissie's having a little bit of a rally off the back of the news, the inflation figure, lovely support bounce. But yeah, it's just sort of sideways, bit of a move. Nothing going anywhere, is it? Nothing to look at exciting there either. Got a small short off the Aussie dollar yen off Friday's low. Good job. You got a small short on the Aussie dollar yen off of Friday's low. Oh, there. Okay. Yeah, that's real short-term scalping. SIH, I got only one entry long on the DAX and the UK 100. Reason, one order on the DAX was 100 and the other was 1.02. Of course, 100 was not executed because of the margin. Same with the UK. Pass. Don't know what that is. Something to do with your broker. Probably FTMO, because it's FTMO. Some weird data issue with FTMO. Sorry to ask before I check. Do we have a video on ORB? Yes. Where do you think that might be, Themba? Possibly on the ORB page? Morning, Blue Trader from Pontevedra. Cloudy. Happy New Year. Yeah, might get snow today. That won't happen. We never get snow. Euro odd. So Friday, we kind of chopped around the previous 2 weeks' highs, which were very, very spiky in this range. And we're kind of out those highs at the moment. So this is a kind of big range with a smaller range inside of it. So propulsion gap completed off of the news on Friday. So I'll be looking for a push up into that area there, and then looking for shorts out of that. Nice if we can get an extension, but somewhere up there is a good sell area, which is that propulsion gap. So if we can get a move up to there, be a good sell opportunity. If we move back down into these propulsion gaps, we might be looking at market structure breaking as so. Yeah, so buys out of there, sells out the highs. Euro CAD, total sideways mess. It's just, can't do anything with it. Yeah, one of my old mentors said to me, if you open a chart, you look at it and you go, that's a mess, move on. Yeah, if you look at it and you go, that's a mess, there's nothing to look at, is there? Yeah, that's a mess. That's a definition of a mess. The range is not even. The lows are very good, but if you got to bounce out the low, it's not doing anything. There's just nothing you can do with it. You could sell it out of that high, in which case then you might want to scale in there or scale in there, but look at the distances. It's just awful. It's just a mess. So scrap that. Euro Swiss, we've looked at all the other Swissies, totally sideways, totally contracted, not going anywhere at all. You could take a short off the highs, but look what you're going to get out of it if you go down to the lows of the range. 1 ADR of movement. It's just not worth it. Nothing to look at. Euro pound. So we've got a move down on the euro pound from last week. So we've got this area of accumulation and balance down here. We've got another one up here. So this whole area here, basically, we should be looking for some kind of support out of. If they do manage to sell through this area here, we'll be looking at buying out of the last month's low, which is 175. So I've got one position long on this at the moment, which was taken on Wednesday. Thursday, we went nowhere. Friday, we got a push down. And at the moment, we're kind of not really going anywhere at the minute, but there's a good chance we might drop further on this one, down into this area, into last week's low, but it's more like that Friday low, which is this propulsion gap, that previous resistance. So it's this area here, really. So if we can get down into there, be taking a second position, average in, and try and get out on a push back up into that accumulation. We've got a monthly low coming up as well. So there'll be some buyers down there, which is this area here, which is 150 ADR. So I'm long at the moment. It's a bit of a weird trade, this one, because it got extended and then we just kind of flip-flopped around and then we got hit by a news event. So it's not really a trade setup anymore. I'm just in it. I'm in it long. So I'll just wait to get out of it at some point. If it can push up into there, that's great. That's enough profit for me to get out on. But this is one of those trades where the initial idea is gone. We're sitting there now in it, in an area of balance, coming up with a load of chop. It could go either way, couldn't it? So basically the plan is now, if it pushes down, to scale in and get out on some kind of pullback. If it pushes up and we're still sitting there, if we get up to sort of here Thursday and it's just done that, it's one of those you just go, oh, get out, walk away. Didn't work. So not really going anywhere. Euro yen, short on at the moment, out the highs. This is a nice retracement move, which is holding at the moment. So looking for a push back down into propulsion to exit that. Could well come down and retest these lows as well. But, you know, we are just sideways at the moment. Danger on this one is obviously we push up and come and retest this area here, this propulsion move, which is fine. So it will just need to be scaled into and then get out of it when it comes back down again. Again, no real clue as to what's going on with the euro either at the moment. It could go either way, couldn't it? Euro New Zealand, total sideways, mess. The only thing I'd want to do with this is sell that area. Not doing anything. Propulsion gap. So we might find sellers out of that 150. So if you get an ADR hit in a propulsion gap, good potential short. You know, you got sellers here. Accumulation break. Beautiful propulsion gap, retested, added. So we know there's sellers in that zone. So if you get an extension above 125, 150 ADR today, short. Also as well, nice quadruple bottom around about 150 ADR. You know, it's same with everything. Mean reversion. We're waiting for movement. We haven't got any movement. nothing to look at, is there? So we're waiting for it to move to an area so we can get in. Euro US, out of that on Friday, exit of the year so far. Look at that for an exit. Propulsion, this is exactly why we use propulsion gaps as targets. Look, straight into propulsion, sold. Yeah, so out of that, beautiful. Nothing to do with it. It's basically 58 RSI. It's flat as a pancake. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and that area there 4. Totally sideways. So you could short Friday's high or long Friday's low. Wouldn't do either. Pound odd. So we're just testing this area at the moment. So there's a lovely support here. So we've got this area here, which we basically broke through, came up, we retested that area, that propulsion. They sold out of it twice and pushed down through, and then off we went. So we're coming back to retest 50% of this move at the moment for a short. Nice, the potential W pattern reversal going in at the moment on this. So yeah, like it as a short at the minute, but at the moment the pound is rallying this morning. So if it breaks that high, it looks like we might be pushing up further. So I didn't get an entry on this last week. If you were trading and this is why I trade the 75.25, I want it to be really extended, like a big, strong move that there's a very good chance we're going to get an elastic band snapback on. It hit the 30 twice last week there as well, and then just went into accumulation. So, and again on Friday. So this thing looks like it's pretty strong. Nothing but buyers in the market at the moment for this. So watch this propulsion gap up there today. We haven't had a profit take on that move at all really yet. So I'll be looking for a push back down into these propulsion gaps at some point. It might want to come up and do all of this first though. So, you know, same thing. It can take weeks for these propulsion gaps to get filled. They will. That will get filled possibly all the way up to there. And then these will all be orphaned. Yeah, so it will come back down to here at some point. So the minute though, there's no real entries on it for me. It's very close to getting one short on it. So you might be short on this. If you are short on it, obviously look at where you're going to scale in. You've got this massive multi-week. It's almost a month of accumulation up here where it's just, this is an area of balance where the banks and institutions have been happy to conduct business. And then someone went, let's try down here. And they went, nope. And they went short. And now we're coming back up to retest. So what you find often with these areas of balance or accumulations is the banks will come back and retest them and confirm that, yes, we want to be trading below that level now. So there's a good chance that this will act as some kind of resistance in there, and then we'll be pushing back down. Then we're either going to form a range or it will move into some kind of trend. So that's pound odd, pound CAD. Mess. It's just a mess. Look, it's just a mess. There's no market structure. There's just not. It's just a mess. Move on. Propulsion gap test was the only thing I'd look at for shorting. For the upside, downside, it could be anywhere in here. It's just a mess. So forget it. Thanks for subscribing, whoever that was. Didn't show up. Someone just subscribed. Sanan Aliev, welcome aboard. Not sure why that didn't show up in my chat, but it didn't. Pound Swiss. So Pound Swiss, we've got this accumulation break here. So this propulsion gap, which we are testing at the moment, which they're selling out of. But we've got quite a lot of strength in this pound at the moment. We've got Bailey talking tomorrow. So we might get some movement from Bailey tomorrow. Wednesday afternoon. We might get some clues as to what we're going to do with the interest rates for the pound, or rather when we're going to drop the interest rates for the pound coming out of Bailey on Wednesday. So at the moment, the market is rallying the pound a little bit. I say a little bit. If you look at actually what happened last week, we opened there and we are here. So that's really all the movement we've had in the entire week is virtually nothing. Less than an ADR, less than half an ADR. So we haven't actually gone anywhere. But you can see, obviously, at the moment, we've got the high, the low, we've got the lower high put in, lower low, lower high. Then we slammed down, hit an accumulation, dropped hard. We're coming back and we're retesting this area of balance here. Yeah. So potential for that to continue down. Swiss franc is powering up a little bit at the moment. But again, we're waiting. Everything is on a knife edge at the moment. Euro will be dropping at some point soon. Pound will be dropping at some point soon. The Swissy will go with the pound. Swiss franc, unlikely to drop their rates particularly hard because they're really, really low anyway, and inflation is coming down. So they might actually drop their rates, but we'll see. So at the moment, we're sitting there waiting for everything to announce an interest rate drop. And yet no one's really got any idea when those is going to happen. So this is why the market at the moment is reacting heavily to news, and they're not really doing anything because we're not sure. We're just not sure whether we want to be long or short on anything at the moment. Bailey could come out this week and go, it's very, very stubborn inflation at the moment. We said we were going to drop the interest rates. They might need another hike. And all of a sudden, that's going to fly through the roof. So, we just don't know where anything's going at the moment. So you just got to look for areas the banks have sold from previously and just try and get out of them again. So shorts potentially on that one, you would have had this morning, drop down M5, reversal alert has triggered there. So, hell was that? Some weird move this morning. That's just a gap fill. Look. So yeah, gap down. Don't normally get gaps down, but yeah, gap down fill. So they just push back down again. So, it's more short than long, but not particularly pretty. Pound yen, same as all the other yens. Nice looking short opportunity on this one. I'm already short on this from last week on the RSI extension. And then we had that second leg put in. We're coming up into resistance now. Previous support, turn resistance. So hopefully that will hold and we can get a push down. I'm going to get out on a 50% retracement. I might get, it depends what happens when we get towards that area, if we get towards that area. If this doesn't break down from here and we get a break above that high, we'll be looking at anywhere in this massive balance up here for a short. So possibly going to need a couple more positions on this one to get out. In which case, then that entire move, we won't have had a profit take on. So it'll be a big push back down into there. Pound New Zealand, mess. It's a sell at the moment. Market structures, obviously, very short. So propulsion gap, not particularly clean propulsion gap, but we've got this area here of support, which basically we're bouncing out of at the moment. We invalidated it, pushed back through it again, hit it again, hit it again. Yeah, so this is an area that they previously didn't want to sell below. Sellers managed to get a control. So it's whether or not the sellers can keep that control, in which case then you'd be looking for a retest to that low. If not, if it's going to break up, we're looking for a retest to that high, which is that previous support there and resistance. So that's 225 ADR to the upside, which is the previous month's high. Pound US, sideways, total sideways mess. The entire month is just sideways. And then it's a slightly bigger range sideways. It's just a mess. Could go either way. You bang in the middle. So either short that or that's not a bad area to long. That's 125 ADR. So again, ADR reversal. This is why I have the indicators. Yeah. We want to be alerted when the market has moved so that we can mean revert it. So 125 ADR. If you get an ADR reversal on it, look at it. If you've got a nice support with ADR and it's a propulsion gap, buy it. Yeah. If it doesn't work, buy it down there. One of those two is going to work. So at the moment, sitting in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing. December. Morning. FTNet. No, it's Darwin X. Don't know what that is. I'm on Darwin X. There's no problem this morning. Darwin X. Darwin X is traded fine. This is Darwin X. I don't know what that would be. Why it would take 100 lots. Pass on that one. Novelty. I'll be putting together my council sledge if the snow comes to the mountains this year. Council sledge is a bin liner with a couch cushion on it. I've got 2 sledges, right, hanging up in my shed. We had some snow probably 5 years ago. So whenever there's snow in the UK, right, we have this manic rush, right? All of a sudden, I don't know where they get them from, but every garage in the UK suddenly has a massive stock of sledges. They must have them literally sitting in boxes out the back for years and years and years. And then when it snows, sledges become available like magic, isn't it? So we had some snow years and years and years ago. So we rushed to the garage because last time we had snow, we rushed to the garage and they'd sold out sledges. So the first time we saw sledges when there was snow, we got these sledges. Went to the downs, there was no snow. So it wasn't enough to sledge. So we bought them back, hung them up, never used them. They've been sitting in the shed for 5 years. So one day we'll get those out, possibly. Global warming. Sledge manufacturing is not the industry to be in at the moment. Do not buy shares in sledges. Morning, Abdul. Does the M5 hedging on MRA EA make use of the 60/40 RSI? Yeah, it can. It does. As standard, the set file uses RSI for the initial entry, only for the initial entry. But it's up to you. You can use 25/75 or you can use 60/40. It's up to you. Have a look in the settings. Test. Play with it. There is no right or wrong. Yeah. One of them will work, one of them won't. Use whatever you are comfortable with. 60/40 will give you more entry. 75/25 will give you less. That's the only difference. Whether it works or not is, 60/40, nice short there. 60/40, nice short there. You haven't had a 75 short since there. You'd have had a 60/40 short there, 60/40 short there, 60/40 short there. You'd have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 short opportunities if you're using 60/40. If you're using 75/25, you've had 1. Yeah, 75/25 is safer. 60/40 will get into more drawdown if it goes against you. There's no right or wrong. They will all work. They will all fail. Just need a strategy. Use one or the other. Would it be correct to say reversal and retest alerts on H1 tend to be more accurate than on M5? Everything on higher time frames is more accurate than lower time frames. Basically, lower time frames, M5, you are trading algorithmic chop. Yeah. It's just chop. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah. Every single candle can be that or that. Every single price action you see, every bullish engulfing is just an order. Yeah. On the higher time frames, everything is more smoothed. This is a terrible chart to demonstrate it on because it's a complete mess range, but everything is much more smooth. As a higher time frame you go, it becomes smoother and smoother. Yeah, so you're always going to get better signals. Virtually all traders I know that are profitable are all trading hourly charts or above. Banks and institutions never look at anything lower than really 4-hour daily charts. Hourly scalping. Yeah. Because what happens within an hour is just basically hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of orders just being placed into the market, making the market do whatever it needs to do based on the volume of orders coming through. Over a period of an hour, you can see whether there are speculative moves happening. Yeah, it's smoother. You can't see it on this chart because it's awful. New Zealand dollar CAD, mess. Yeah, short it at the highs, buy it at the lows. Just a mess. New Zealand Swiss. Yeah, look how clear the movement is here. Bang, bang. Yeah, 2 hours straight down. Yeah, you drop down to lower time frames. You see, oh, we need to go long. No, you don't. Yeah, but you get so many signals. Look at that whacking great bullish engulfing everyone went long on there that got killed and stopped out on. Yeah, on the hourly chart, that didn't happen. There's absolutely no reason to go long on the hourly chart. This is a short. Yeah. In fact, you've only just gone short because you've had that big bearish engulfing go in, but you're selling into support. It's going to bounce. Of course it's going to bounce. That's where it bounced last time. Bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, closed down and broke up. It's going to bounce there. Yeah. On the 5-minute chart, you'll be taking a bounce play off of that weekly low. Look, you're longing it off of this because there's limit orders triggering at this level. Chop. Doesn't mean it's going to go long. It means that limit orders are triggering. You just get algorithmic crap on 5-minute timeframes, which is why it's, but everybody wants to trade a 5-minute time frame because you get tiny little risks and massive rewards, but you also get chopped to death 1,000 times. Just scalping, and you never see me trade 5-minute charts. Yeah, the only time I ever take a trade, I take trades all the time on the 5-minute chart, but they are reversal alerts, which is look at this reversal alert here. 20 candles, 25-minute candles. That's an hour and a half of price action. This is why the reversal alerts indicator does what it does. We're not getting in because there's been a candlestick that's gone in a direction. We're getting in because the guys that tried to sell there actually finally took control of the market and sold. Yeah, it took an hour and a half for them to do that, but they did it. Yeah. The only time you ever see me actually trading and pressing a button on a 5-minute chart is when I know that there's going to be a shed load of volume coming in, which is the open. That's it. Other than that, never look at 5-minute charts. ADR reversals, look at 5-minute charts. Yeah, when you get an ADR hit, but you're waiting for a reversal alert. Yeah, you're waiting for a sign that that move to the upside is over. Structure's broken back down. Sellers are in control now. Yeah. So yeah, they're going to be more accurate, definitely. But retests as well. If you look at a retest there on the New Zealand dollar Swiss, so there's your alert, there's your reversal. Yeah. Look how long it took for the retest to happen. 1, 2, 3 days. The retest started in December and happened in January. Yeah. Market structure. Retests are showing you basically that the sellers took control of the market. The buyers tried to take control back. The sellers, where they took control last time, remained in control. Very similar to the propulsion gap theory. Yeah. Sellers took control of the market. Buyers tried to take it back. Sellers added to the positions. Buyers tried to take it back. Sellers added to the positions. Buyers tried to take it back. Sellers added to the positions. This is a huge sell order. Yeah. The guys that are short on this are big. Yeah. You've got to be bigger than these guys to take control back. You will try. Of course you will. But you're not going to. Yeah. Same theory. Retests are basically forming an M pattern or a W pattern. All it's doing is saying buyers are in control. Definitely in control. It's just a confirmation. But sometimes you won't get them, will you? Yeah. This could now go boom, 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 like it did here. Look. Yeah. Reversal alert. Never retested it. That area we broke never got retested. So if you were taking reversal alerts with retests using the market reversal alerts EA, you wouldn't have gone long on that. You'd have missed it. If you'd have taken the reversal alert, you'd have been happy. If you'd have taken the retest, you'd have been sitting there going, missed it. Again, no right or wrong. Sometimes retests are better to take. Sometimes reversal alerts, initial reversal alerts are better to take. There is no right or wrong. There's just different. Nice double top rejection. Looking for pushed back down into somewhere around here. New Zealand US mess. We're probably going to retest the propulsion move off of the FOMC rate announcement. In which case then by the time we get there, it'll be ready for the CPI figure, taking a month to do it. US dollar CAD, again, CPI, interest rate decision. So at the moment we are just sideways. All of last week was just sideways. We had a little rally on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sat sideways. No idea where we're going at the moment. So impossible to predict anything. AZ not in here this morning. If he is, he's very quiet. Who is long on this. So we looked at this on Friday when he had a break even here, and I said, get out because of the news. And then the news, there he is, he's present. They go, right, you're back. What have you done? Yeah. The market has given you a second chance on this. You're out on Friday evening, so you're out there. Right, okay. Job done. There you go. Now, this could scream up now, but you're out. You're done. Next opportunity, forget it. Yeah, move on. So pushing up into potential double top at last week's high. You are then going to previous week's high here. So there's resistance, resistance. Yeah, we've got no news on it until Thursday. No idea. Could go either way. US dollar Swiss. Again, all the US dollar has done all last week is nothing. So we don't know. We had that lovely big whipsaw. They've cleared the decks on Friday. Could go either way. Yeah. US dollar yen short at the moment off the RSI extension. We had all that yen weakness last week. Looking for a pullback to get out of that move. Looking for it to push back into that support. There you go. That's everything. As I say, there's very little at the moment to do today. Just waiting on the positions that I'm in to move and waiting for something to set up. No ADRs, no RSIs. And no movement on the indices either. So initial cash balance paid. Other than that, can't trade it today. There's no volume today. It's just dead. It's a dead Monday. Boring. My MT4 demo, killing my trades with requotes, pop-ups, missing gains. If you're getting requotes, change broker. Who requotes these days? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about requotes. I mean, I haven't had a requote for a decade on a broker. I didn't even know they did that anymore. MT4 demo core. Oh, on MT4 demo. Oh, it's actually MetaTraders. Yeah, but that's not even a broker. I don't know. I'd try and use a broker demo rather than using an MT4 one. Avoided the 8% to drawdown. I'll take it. Exactly. Yeah, you're out. Which is good. Right. So the hedging strategy that I've been developing, the EA's been running on it since whenever the EA started trading. The 5th, sorry. So I started it last week on Thursday. Where are we? The 8th. Friday. Sorry, I started it on Friday. So it's banked 1.97% since Friday. Banked 0.85 on Friday and banked 1.13% this morning. So the main purpose for running this demo is to evaluate max drawdown, which I kind of had calculated anyway, but I want to make sure. And see basically what happens and make sure the EA works. Just banked something else there, haven't I? Something else just banked? What happened there? Oh, cancelled Pound New Zealand. Oh yeah, just got out of pound New Zealand. And it's just re-entered pound New Zealand. Sorry, one sec. That just traded there, didn't it? Okay. I might need to put some arrows on this just to verify where this is happening. So I'm basically testing functionality. So in the back tester, it's all working absolutely fine. I'm not convinced by anything until I've forward tested it for a while. So this is running basically just to make sure that the functionality is working and that everything kind of is doing what I want it to do. So it's running on eight pairs, 10 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't remember. I think it's 8. To make sure it's not overexposing. And basically the idea of the strategy obviously is to just get in on momentum, and then basically it will get out when the market has moved a certain distance and take the profit, or if it doesn't work, then it will squeeze the hedge basically as the market moves and then hedge the account. So the idea being is you should be able to at some point see this drawdown getting lower than this and just shut stuff out basically. So I'm just monitoring it basically to see how it operates. But the idea is I shouldn't be able to go into more than around 8K of drawdown. So I'm testing this at the moment on a 30K account, which is the account that I'll be running it on. And just to make sure that that drawdown doesn't get out of control, which it can't really do because obviously it hedges. So it's just going to move that there so I can see what the exposure is. So you will only ever have 2 trades on each currency, and one will be long and one will be short. Yeah, so your exposure basically will build up to a maximum of 2 in one direction. That's all it can do. Yeah, or it can be hedged in both directions. So yeah, I'm just going to monitor this for the next 2 to 3 weeks just to make sure that the functionality is right. The fact that that pound New Zealand has just closed out at 10.51 and immediately, oh no, so it's cancelled that. So it closed out at 10.51 and immediately opened a new trade is not correct. Something's not right there. So I need to check that. Because we should be waiting for candle close. Let me just see what that trade was. Pound New Zealand. What's the ADR on pound New Zealand? About 200, isn't it? 130. So 130. So I'm just doing quick maths. 130 divided by quarter of an ADR, 32. 41 locked in. Well, 32, yeah. Okay, so that's right, but it's getting in immediately long again because no, that is correct. Yeah, because we've opened below and closed above. But I want it to pause on the hourly. That's why. Okay. That's right. I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, I've got the coding wrong on that. So I need to change that coding. So yeah, so I'm just going to monitor this and run this. I'm not worried about the drawdown on it. So I'm expecting the way that I've got this set up is very, very aggressive. So I'm expecting it to basically go into somewhere in the region of 15 to 25% of drawdown on the account, which is fine because it's hedging. Yeah, so that's it. They can't do more than that. That's it, basically, because it's hedging. You can't lock in more than a percentage. Yeah, so it's a fixed risk. So I'm risking basically 25% of the account as a usable amount of liquidity. But as it gets to that, when it closes a trade out, that will get banked up to 25% as well. So it looks terrible on paper. When you look at it, you go like, bloody hell, it's losing 9%. It's already made 2%. I can close out another 1% there. I can close out another 1% there. So I can close out and bring this up to 4% right now. Yeah. So it's not actually bad. It's just tit for tat sort of trading when you're hedging. So I just want to check the functionality and just to make sure that it works as I expect it to. So I'll be running this for the next couple of weeks. We'll pop in and look at it periodically just to see how it's doing. But the theory, exactly the same as with the market reversal alerts EA. It will spend an awful lot of time in drawdown because the purpose of hedging is to get risk on the table and then wait for the market to move and tell you which way you need to take the position off and then deal with the one after. Yeah. So exactly the same as the market reversal alerts hedging strategy does. It spends a hell of a lot of time and a lot of drawdown, but it doubles and trebles the accounts within a quarter. Yeah. Because it is high risk, but very, very, very high reward. So I'm expecting this in a week should be up to somewhere in the region of 8 to 10%. We should never really be going above sort of 10, 15% there. But when it closes positions out and puts them down there, that will jump up to 25% drawdown. So I'm just testing the theory basically and testing the logic. Obviously with things like the pound Swiss. So these ones you can see I've got 3 hedges on and 3 normal trades. Sorry, no, I haven't. I've got 3 hedges on and then 1, 2, 3. Can't count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal trades. So those 5 trades there, in theory, could just run and bank whatever. Yeah, if it trends, so that pound Swiss, for example, there that's running nicely, that is a short. We've got a hedge locked in up there. As price pushes down here, the hedge will get dragged down with it to a point where it will basically, that line will overtake that line. It's a completely risk-free trade. It cannot lose money. If this decides this week to do that and get down to there, it will bank 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% on the account. Yeah, with absolutely no risk whatsoever apart from whatever that hedge will cost. And that hedge will never cost more than $1,000. So the maximum hedge size is 3.5%. So worst case scenario is basically, as I just said, 3.5 times 8 equals 28%. That's the very maximum this account could ever go into. Absolute maximum, 30% of drawdown. And you're not going to lose anything because one of those trades will go out and pay for all the others. So it's a very, very good strategy, but it's very complex to manage, which is why I've built this EA. It manages all the difficult, complicated technical stuff like squeezing hedges and all that sort of stuff. And when do you get out? So it measures the distance moved and measures that in relation to ADR, then automatically breaks even, trails, does everything. So all the complex stuff that you've got to do every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes when you're hedging, because it's moving all the time, is all handled by this. So in theory, it should be something that you could pop into every day and look at any wide hedges. The downside to hedging is when you're hedging, you will get very wide hedges. So you will suddenly, that looks great, but all of a sudden a hedge will turn into short there and long there. Yeah, you've got to deal with that. So the only way you can deal with that is to take trades inside the hedge and then get yourself out of it. So that bit is all got to be done manually. So all I'm doing is testing at the moment is the overall functionality and just seeing basically how it banks. But yeah. So no, I'll update you on that as we go this month. But it did go live on Friday. And I've already found my first problem with it. Although it isn't a problem. Is it a problem? The fact that this went long there, is it a problem? Because it is a valid trade. Because it's opened below and closed above the 9MA, which is basically the trigger for the trade. So it's because we're doing that. That's why that trade's happened. So do I want it to do that or not? All my back testing is working on the fact that it does that. So I should leave it. But ideally, what I would have liked to have done on that pound New Zealand is now wait, not get long, and wait for it to repeat that process on the hourly chart. But because I'm using last candle, I can't do that. Anyway, my problem. We are reversing on the indices potentially. Finally getting underway. FTNet, put the SIH on the strategy test. I mean, everything is fine there, but let's see how it goes with the US session. Which VPS do I use? I use the one on my website, which is that one. VPS Forex Trader. The biggest you can get, basically. Never scrimp and save on power. Yeah. If you do it monthly, yeah. The reason I like this company and I use this company is because it gives you a rough estimation of how many MT4s you can run. Yeah. So that's the entry level. I have. What have I got now? I can't remember what I've got now. I've got one of those, definitely. I think I shut the other one down. So I'm running one of those. And I've got another VPS running, which I can't remember. At the end of the day, this is an inconsequential amount of money, isn't it? I just made $400 this morning. $80 a month is just irrelevant. Power is what I want. I want my EA to execute as fast as possible. No lag, no locking, nothing. I want it executed. This is money on the table. Yeah, you do not skimp and save on the thing that executes your orders. It's the most important thing in your arsenal. Yeah, this needs to be good. So just get the biggest one you can get. There you go. It's only $50. Look at that for a saving if you buy it annually. I do mine monthly. Why am I doing mine monthly? They didn't used to do this. They've updated their website as well. So obviously, they've redone their pricing. I might need to redo mine. They've also got dedicated servers, which are an awful lot more expensive. But as you can see, you get all the power. Yeah. Yeah. That thing will execute in microseconds. That's what I had. One of those. That's what I was trying to think. I had a dedicated server and I've got a large VPS. Just get whatever you can. But, you know, if it's the difference between spending $30 a month and $50 a month to get twice the processing power, spend $50 a month, because that $20 you've just spent is the difference between either getting an order executed or not executed and making $300 to $500 extra a month. Just irrelevant. It just is inconsequential. And if you find it consequential and you find, oh, that's a lot of money a month, what the hell are you trading with? How are you going to make any money? Curious thoughts on manual swing trading strategy that takes trades on H1 reversal alerts and holds up to relevant opposite direction. Test it, Mumo. I don't know. Never tested it. You can test that with the market reversal alerts EA, can't you? You can get the market reversal alerts EA to get in and out on a reverse alert. So it will enter on a reverse alert and exit on a reverse alert. Exactly what the H1 hedging strategy does. Do that. Did I miss your answer about learning to code EAs? I didn't see a question about learning to code EAs. I'm going to look at learning to code this year. I would like to try and build my own EAs. Where would you recommend I start? Udemy, I guess. Google, learn MQL5. Udemy, there you go. From zero to Algo Hero. Learn to code in MT5. £9.99. Whether it's any good or not, I couldn't tell you, but that's where you start. I don't know. Google always gives you answers you want. Draining night, battle getting my profit tonight. Good night, Franco. He's off. Why not get something like a Synology NAS and put a VPS in there? I don't even know what that is. Because I don't need to is the answer, because I've been using VPSs for 25 years. They work and they're fine. Why complicate my life with all other modern technology that won't give me any advantage whatsoever? Possibly financial. Yeah, I get it. There's cheaper stuff out there. But at the end of the day, I couldn't give a monkeys. Got a nice Black Friday deal with them. Was around half price. Cool. Should I learn Python? If you want to. I can't answer that question. The number of languages you learn is up to you. MQL, you want to learn C++. I mean, there's all sorts. There are so many languages out there. If you want to code in MQL, or you want to code for, what's the other one? Trade. What the hell? What's the online charting platform? My brain's gone this morning. I can't think of it. But there's lots of different languages out there, and you need different languages for different software. TradingView, yeah. That uses a different language. PineScript, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, different language. Coding is coding. Logic is logic. How that logic is expressed as a statement in each language is different, but the logic is the same. Yeah. You know, I know how to program in PHP, I know CSS, I know HTML, I know C++, I know Pine, I know all sorts, but I'm a coder. I've been a coder. I started coding in the 90s. So I started coding on BASIC, Pascal, languages that don't exist anymore. But the logic is the same. This line says do this. This line says do this. This line says do this or go there and do that. If that hasn't happened, do this. It's logic. It's if, then, do that. It's all the same, except every language. It's like the, normal language. You can say, where is the library, or où est la bibliothèque? It's the same question. One's French, one's English, one's PineScript, one's Fortran. Yeah. There's, it's all the same stuff. Once you know how to program and you understand logic, arrays, variables, everything works in the same way. But you need a different language understanding. So, like, you might have to have a semicolon on the end on one language, and in another language, you don't have a semicolon on the end. You might have a comma or something stupid. Yeah. But that code won't work if you put a semicolon on the end. The problem with coding, and which is why coding is so frustrating, is one character out of place in 100,000 lines of code will stop it working. The beauty of all programming languages is they all have some kind of debugging system in them. MQL5 is really good. So in Meta Editor, when you compile something, it tells you what line is broken and why. So you fix it. It's really good. It's really easy. But you've got to have an understanding of logic and flow. And this stuff you can't just learn it. Yeah. That course, you go and do that course, you won't be able to build an EA. You'll be able to build a basic EA, but then you'll suddenly go, I want to do this. That course won't have taught you it. So you've then got to go to Google and Google, how do I X? So as a programmer, 90% of your time will be spent on Google getting other people to solve your problems for you. Because there's so much. There's also a million ways to do something. You can code the same thing in 10 different ways. That course will teach you one thing, not necessarily the best way to do it. Yeah. But again, it's personal. A lot of people comment, and message me going, why do you still use magic numbers? There's much better ways to do it, because MQL5 say you should. And yes, you could do it in a different way, but MQL5 say I should, so I'm going to do it that way. If you don't like it, piss off and make your own, basically. Because there is 1,000 ways to trade, isn't there? Yeah. Well, you shouldn't go short there because it's going to go up. All right. Well, you go up then. I'll go down. Right. Who's going to be right? Both of us, because it's going to go up and down like that. Yes, you'll be right, and at some point I'll be right. Yeah. You code it your way, I'll code it my way. If you don't like my way, go and do it yourself. I don't care. Yeah. I do stuff for me to work the way I want it to, because I make money. Yeah. So you'll find that, especially in the coding world as well, coders are particularly annoying people. You'll ask a question in a forum and they'll go, you haven't searched the forum, have you? And you'll go, yeah, I had. I found 7 threads, but none of them answered my question. Well, you probably haven't searched correctly, have you? Because if you'd have searched in this way, because they're coders, yeah, they're mostly geeks, and they take offense if you haven't actually searched before you post a question. And it's really annoying, because normally you've searched, gone through 1,000 threads, tried everything, and spent 6 hours getting nowhere. And then you go, none of this works. And then they suddenly go, yes, there's another way you could do that. It'll drive you nuts. Get someone else to do it for you, I would advise, outro. Pay somebody $200. It'll be done in a week. Anyway, did you like my, that's my geek voice. Every time I read a forum, I'm going, so if you do, that's what they're saying. That's how I hear them. Everybody's talking about buying viewing trading scripts. The price action is very reminiscent of August, September. Volume is low. Yeah, it is at the moment. Not really going anywhere at the minute, so we need to wait. We need some news. We need something to happen. Yeah, everything's dead, so you just got to wait. Nothing you can do. This is why trading is not a job for people that want a monthly income. Yeah, you do not get paid 2,500. Yeah, somebody in the afternoon session last week ended the session with, I've got a strategy. I'm going to make 61 pips a day on the NASDAQ or something. I can't remember exactly what they said. And my answer was, no, you're not. Because if it was easy to make exactly a number of pips a day and make exactly the same amount of money every day, everybody would do it, wouldn't you? Nobody would work. Everybody would just play on the markets and extract $500 a day. It doesn't work that way. Some months you're going to make that. Some months you're going to make that. Some months you're going to make that. Yeah, some months you're going to make that. Market decides what you make, not you, because when you press the buy button, if it goes up, the market decides you make money. If it goes down, the market decides you're going to draw down and sit through that for X number of days, weeks, months, or whatever. Yeah, you have no control over your income. So August, September, traders take it off because the market has got low volume, because traders take it off. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They take the time off because there's no volume, and by taking the time off, they create no volume. If the market is sitting here in January and every RSI dashboard is flat, it's very hard to make money if nothing's moving, isn't it? Yeah, stuff is still moving. It's still going up and down, but it's only going up and down on the 5-minute time frame, where everybody is getting slaughtered and death by 1,000 cuts, because it's not going anywhere. It's just going up and down. And unless you've got that exact 50-50 right at exactly the right time, you're going to get killed. So you just have to sit here and wait. Your P&L will sit there. I've had weeks where I've sat like that, and then on Friday I've gone, we're exactly where we were, and there's nothing there. Nothing's moved. You can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's the only danger. It's the only downside long-term I see to trading. People often ask me, what are you going to do if the markets change? What are you going to do if they suddenly put restrictions on this and you can't do this? And what happens if that happens? What happens if this new Brazil, Russia, China thing starts kicking off and all of a sudden the US isn't the dominant currency? You adapt, you change. That's what you do. But you can't do anything with this. If this was to go on for the next 6 months, I would have to drop time frame and try and find some other way to make money. But you sit through it. There's nothing you can do. If it's just going sideways, or if it's pushing and then going to do that for the entire week, what can you do? Wait. Pain in the backside. Fortran, 1985. Yeah. I was at college in 1980. No, I wasn't. Like 1985. 1990, I went to college. That's when I started programming BASIC and Pascal. I do remember Fortran, though, because I was playing around with Fortran at school. Do you have to manage memory in MQL5? No. No. You just have to try and code efficiently. But again, you know, this is the other thing about forums. You'll post, and when you're trying to get stuff troubleshot by other people in forums, yeah, you code something and you go, I can't get this code to work, or something's not right in this code. Why is this not doing that? And they'll go, could you post your code? And you post your code, and as soon as you post your code, you know what's coming. Wow, that's not coded very well, is it? It's like, that's how I've coded it. Can you just tell me why it doesn't work? Not that I could remove 2 lines and make it a microsecond more efficient running. I just want to know why it doesn't work. No, but if you hadn't have created that array and you put that in global variables, it would run faster. I don't care. I just want to get the thing working, mate. Tell me that, and then I'll go and fix the code later. Seriously, get someone else to build it. You will end up wanting to kill everybody on every forum if you try and learn to code. Is ChatGPT good for learning? I've never tried. I couldn't say. ChatGPT I have found fantastic for fixing code. Like I just said, that forum incident, I can bypass the idiots and just put it into ChatGPT and say, why is this not doing XYZ? And it will go, it doesn't look like you've got, and I'll go, it works. But if for learning, the problem you'll have is, where do you start? What do you ask ChatGPT? Teach me how to code MQL5? That could be years of stuff. And what do you need to learn? Trouble with learning, you don't know what you need to learn. So when you are flying a plane, for example, you need to learn how to take off. You also need to learn how to land. But in between that, you're going to need to learn how to navigate. And in between that, you're going to learn how to read weather patterns. And in between that, you're going to learn, yeah. So unless somebody gives you a list of what you need to learn, or you come up with a list of what you need to learn, you don't know what to ask. Hard work learning stuff in general, isn't it? Which is why I put everything in this PDF. Yeah, because I find people constantly asking me questions. Like somebody asked something yesterday, I think it was, and I said, this is really basic stuff. Like we were talking about the majors and the minors, and they were giving me exotic pairs. And I'm like, if you don't know what a major pair and a minor pair is, you've gone to like super complex algorithm coding, whereas you haven't learnt basic yet. Yeah. So this is why I put this PDF together. It gives you what to learn in what order. If you're trying to learn something off your own back, you don't know what order or what to learn, which makes it very difficult to learn, doesn't it? So courses are always the better way to go. Did I go to uni? Yeah, I went to college. Didn't go to uni. I just did college and then work. And I'm self-taught. 90% of my coding is self-taught. You will find that. I mean, coding will teach you how to do stuff. What you want to do won't have been taught to you, because it can't teach you everything. There's no course that can teach you everything, because there's an infinite number of ways to do anything. Like, you know, it's exactly, I'd liken it to trading. There's an infinite number of ways to trade, isn't there? Someone right now will be going, you should definitely long it because we bounced off of support. Someone else will be going, no, you've just had a reversal alert. The structure's changing south. And then someone else will go, yeah, definitely, I agree with that guy because we've just hit this propulsion gap and we're selling out of it. But then the other guy will turn around and go, yeah, but we just bought that propulsion gap, so it's bullish. Yeah. Without that argument, there is no trade, because if you want to buy, someone's got to sell to you. If you want to sell, someone needs to buy your order. So you've always got to have differing opinions. And it's the same in everything, especially coding. You say to someone, how do you do this? They'll teach you. And then you'll go to someone else and they'll go, I wouldn't do it that way. I'd do it that way. Why? Because that way is faster. And this guy will go, I don't want speed. I want accuracy. And this guy will go then, well, if you want speed, if you don't want speed and you want accuracy, you should do it this way. Now you've got 3 different ways to achieve the same outcome. Same as trading. Yeah. You're waiting for something to happen at the end. The way you get to it, minefield. Life. It's complicated. If trading was a thing where you could do a uni course, graduate and start making money, surely millions of people would do it. Yeah. Trading is about psychology. There is only, I say this over and over and over again. There is only 2 things that happen. It goes up and it goes down, and it moves through time. It goes up and it goes down. Yeah. There's only 3 candlesticks. There's only 3 possible outcomes on every candlestick: bullish, bearish, or indecision. Yeah. You go to a course. If you came to my how to trade course, I would say, okay, so basically the market moves through time. Okay. You can pick a time frame to view that, and the candlesticks will either show you price moving up or down. There are other candlesticks where are indecision. So if you've had a big candlestick there and a smaller candlestick that doesn't break that high and low, that is indecision. So it's either bullish, bearish, or undecided. Off you go. That's it. That's literally trading. There are 3 outcomes: up, down, sideways. Yeah. But every trading course will teach you the most complicated way of that. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about psychology. When you hit the button, I am now short on the US dollar yen. When I hit the button there, it went up. What do you do when it goes up? That's trading. Yeah. The outcome is either a win or a loss. How you manage the trade, what you do after the button has been pressed, is why you make money. And that's down to this. Yeah. So I am sitting here going, I'm short. It's pushed up. Okay. Well, I'll move my price up to there and see if it comes down again. No. If it pushes up to there, I'll take another short. I'll move my price up to there and I'll wait for it to come down again. Why? Because it does come down. I know that it comes down. Eventually, this will come down. I have a decision to make. Where is it going? And how long shall I stay in it before I start going, I better get out of that? Yeah, that's what courses don't teach you. And you can only learn that yourself. That's the self-taught bit. I got taught price action, candlesticks, moving averages, oscillators, this, that, the other. What I learned for myself was doing. Yeah. So somebody teaches you a course and it has part A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You come out of it, the certificate at the end. Hey, I can code PHP. Okay. Now build me an application in PHP to use an API to go and extract data from MetaTrader trading accounts. Oh, they didn't teach me that. Off you go to Google. Yeah. You know the basics, but you don't know how to do that. Yeah. The basics are up, down, sideways. That is making money. That's the difference, isn't it? You don't get taught that. Nothing can teach you that, because every time a strategy is taught to you that gives you a losing trade, that strategy doesn't work. That's what your psychology tells you. That strategy does work. You just didn't trade it right. Very, very, very different approach, isn't it? But it's the only one that works. You should do a full stream on in that job 1 week. Should do a full stream in that job 1 week. That's what that means. In that voice. Yes. Okay, everybody, let's have a look at the RSI today. It's going up or down. Next question. Fix a website and detox. I've got to find a broker website first. I'm going to fix a website. What should we do with it? There we go. Fixed. Bored. My market's not moving, is it? I'm bored. I know 84 watching and 22 likes. Come on, hit the like button, people. If trading was easy, then everyone would do it. Is that part of the reason it's made to be hard? It's not made to be hard. It's very easy. Like I just said, there's only two outcomes. It's binary, like programming, ones and zeros. Sorry, ones and zeros. How did I get that? It's Monday morning. It's really bad, isn't it, today? It's made to be hard because you can't have nations of traders, the doctors and stuff. Yeah. It's the I liken it to the Star Trek lifestyle. Yeah, in Star Trek, there's no currency. They've got rid of currency. Why? Because they invented the replicator. Yeah, if you have a replicator, you have no need for currency because you can replicate everything. I want a new computer. There we go. I want a ham sandwich. There we go. I want a pint of beer. Whatever. Yeah. So what do you need currency for? Yeah. If trading was easy and everybody could make $500 a day trading, we wouldn't have trading, would we? Because no one can do that. Because if somebody makes $500, someone's got to lose $500. Yeah. And the big banks move this up and down. Therefore, they take 95% of those $500 and put it in their bank account. Yeah. So it's not easy to do because everybody is always trying to pick the top, the bottom, and the entry. They're not thinking about the big picture. The big picture is your job is not to pick the top, the bottom. Your job is to make money. Yeah, everybody's trying to pick a way to extract money on a regular basis. You can't because this isn't regular. Yeah, it's like trying to. I can't really think what to liken it to. Like trying to jump over waves. Yeah, when you're in the sea and as a kid and you're jumping over waves, waves come very regularly. If those waves come very irregularly and you're jumping at the same rate, you're going to get hit by one and fall over. This thing is exactly the same. There are no 2 days on this chart that are the same. There are no 2 days in history that are the same. Every day is different. Therefore, there is no way to predict where something is going to stop. We can look at something and say there is an odd of something happening, but everything in trading is built around probabilities. Every probability has a failure rate. And every probability is based on the past, and the past will not happen again in the future. So you can't predict anything. So you have to find a way to extract money without predicting an outcome, which is impossible, isn't it? It's like saying to a doctor, this guy's got cancer. Where is it? I don't know. I'd need to scan him. No, you can't scan him. Just tell me where it is. Is this going up or down? I've no idea. Yeah. It's all about this. You've got to get over this bit. And the only way to get over this bit is to remove the psychology from your trading. And the only way you can do that is by just basically getting in and waiting, because you have no way of predicting the future. And anybody that tells you they can is selling you a course, aren't they? Or selling you a live room, or selling you a group on Telegram that you can enter, and they will share with you their trades, which will fail most of the time. And then you will leave and you will buy the next course because you're looking for the thing that fixes the psychology, which can't be fixed. You can't change it. Probability. When it hits a support and resistance, there's a 50-50 chance it will bounce. That's as good as you get. So then surely there's a conflict of interest. The powers that be would rather trading wasn't easy to ensure that they have doctors and stuff. Yeah. Could be. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about all sorts of stuff. But you've got to make your own way in life, and you've got to extract money in the way that you see fit. This is probably one of the hardest ways. I've done a lot of jobs. This is probably the hardest, but the most rewarding. And they always say, do something you enjoy. If you don't enjoy this, you're probably getting stopped out all the time. So don't do it. If you can't afford to do this, don't do it. Don't do something else. Do something you enjoy. I enjoy this. I love trying to beat the market. I'm competitive. I love trying to beat the market. And I love every day that I beat the market. Every time I come in to here on the morning and I make $340. I'm like, gotcha. It's just, if you haven't got that mentality, it's never going to work. You've got to want to beat this thing. The money is a byproduct. The money just happens. That's what that is. That 5 steps to becoming profitable. Yeah. When you get to that stage, money doesn't even come into it. Relevant. I'm just trading. Money comes out at the end of me doing the same thing every day. Money comes out at the end. I do not have. I'm sitting here right now. I couldn't give a monkey's about there's no RSIs and there's no ADRs. There will be this week. There will be some trades this week. But right now, it's just you just have to sit there and wait. This was my biggest problem. Coming in, trying to trade every day. This is the problem with the people that want to make 50 pips a day, or $500 a day, or $200 a day. It's people that set themselves targets, yeah, every day. If you are sitting here now, an hour and a half into the session, and you haven't taken a trade yet, you've got an itchy trigger finger. What are you going to do? You're going to take a trade because you got to do this. You're focused on that. That's not what you do. You wait for a trade setup. There isn't one today. I'm not trading. It's the hardest thing in the world to do and not to trade, isn't it? I used to find it horrible. It's like I was trading a pullback strategy and it wasn't pulling back. It's like, but this is just going without me. I've got to trade. I've got to get on this thing. You press the button, the fear of missing out. As soon as you do, it goes back and does your pullback entry. But you've just lost all that money. So all you do on your pullback entry is try and get back what you lost. Psychology. It's all about your brain. And this is why everybody fails, because don't get this wrong. There's a lot of idiots out there. There's a lot of people that are mentally challenged and have a certain skill level they won't achieve or succeed above, however you want to say it. They're not going to make it as traders, and that's why people fail, because everybody thinks everyone can do it. You can't. Not everybody can do this. Very, very difficult. I think you should flip a coin each day and let the MRA EA manage to prove the concept. Yeah. I've done it many times in here, Harold. I used to run, before I started YouTube streaming 2.5 years ago, I ran a group in, I can never remember the name of it. What we used through COVID. Everybody was talking on it. Begins with an S. I keep wanting to say Stripe. Oh my God, my brain is screwed this morning. But I used to run a group before. Zoom, that's it. Doesn't begin with an S at all, Zoom. And I used to do it on a regular basis. When the market was quiet, I used to say in the mornings, right, somebody pick a pair, somebody pick a time frame, somebody pick a direction, totally at random, and I would just hit the button. We'd come back in the afternoon and I would make money out of it. Yeah. Or I wouldn't, and then I would manage that position until it was into fruition. Not because I wanted to do it, but just for educational purposes, just to prove exactly what you just said, Harold. Yeah. You can pick any currency right now, any time frame, and pick a direction and press the button. Yeah. Every hour, look at that chart. When it's green, shut it. That is that easy. It will work. If it goes red, wait. Take another trade at a support resistance level and then wait. And just keep doing that. Do it on the 1 minute time frame if you want to. Yeah. I'm not going to do it on this account, but literally press the buy or the sell button now. One or the other. Yeah. So if you press the sell button now and it goes up, press the sell button there or there, and it'll probably come down enough. If you press the sell button now and it goes down to there, get out. Flip a video. Flip a coin, rather. DAX is falling hard. Yeah. All the indices are coming down hard now, so 3 are to the downside. So watch, if you want to get into this short, we're looking for a pushback down into 125 ADR roughly, which is the low from Friday. So look for a pullback into propulsion, which is a retracement on that leg, and then jump in with the sellers and assume we're going to get down to that low and retest it. FTSE's broken out of Friday's low, although it's just right now potentially pulling back from Friday's low. So again, this could be a double bottom bounce, couldn't it? Pulled my short ride on the DAX. Thought you were about to say money comes out the other end. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Have to clean it first. Gosh, my spelling is so bad in this live stream. Yeah, I can't talk. Don't worry about it, outro. It's Monday morning. Have you watched Iman Trading? No. His video on exposing gurus. I think so. I might have done. I don't know. I very rarely get a chance to watch anything. Exposed so badly, he changed his name. The biggest fraud ever. I've seen that video. Yeah, I think I have seen that video. I mean, that's nothing we didn't know anyway, isn't it? We know ICT stuff's a load of bollocks. Don't know. No, I haven't. I've watched that YouTube, the ICT one though. Watch that. Right, I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know in Telegram. I'll be back this afternoon. So money made on the DAX this morning, done and dusted, nice and easy today, straight up to 2R, which is what we're looking for, the initial cash balance move. So that was nice and easy, no hedges to deal with, job done. I'll take that. Paid for most of Friday. Well, paid for half of Friday anyway, which is nice. So we're back this afternoon for the US session. Hopefully we get some movement of some description today, but I'm not holding my breath. It seems very, 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 very light on the ground today. Bit of euro strength coming through with the Swiss franc, it seems. So the Swissy, mind you, that's undoing itself. Look, the Swiss franc move. So it's just nothing happening, is there, at the moment? We have to wait for something to go for a run. So just going to manage the yen positions, see if I can get out of something. That yen is stronger than the euro as well, look. So we've got that euro strength coming through at the moment, but that yen is rallying at the moment. So there's a good chance I might get some of this yen closed out today if we can get a rally on the yen. But all you can do today is watch Financial Juice. There's no news, so we just need to sit there and wait for stuff to correct. But there's no new entries to take at the moment. But obviously I'll post in Telegram if anything exciting happens or if I close anything out. Euro yen. I mean, I want at least 0.25% out of that, really. So I don't see any reason if we are going to go short, if we break that low and that double bottom, there's no reason why we can't come and test this area. So this propulsion gap should get filled in the next 2 days, if not today. So yeah, I'm going to leave that on. There's no point in closing this out. So yeah, wait and see what happens. All right, so back this afternoon for Frankfurt session, for the New York session as usual. Anything you need, I'll be in Telegram. Other than that, have a good morning, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.